Welcome back, everyone. This is Grizzly Reviews. My name is Garrett. I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas holiday if you're celebrating that. But if you're not, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, no matter what you might or might not be celebrating. I am back to cover more of Stranger Things 5 with the fourth and final episode of Volume 1. It's been a hot minute since I made a video, I know, but I wanted to make this one a little bit more special for holiday season, especially considering the fact that Volume 2 is dropping tonight in hours from now. We will have the next 3 episodes of Stranger Things, which means there's only one finale episode left on New Year's Eve. Which is just absurd. I can't believe we're already at the end of Stranger Things. What did you think about Volume 1 of Stranger Things 5 as a whole? And did you like this fourth and final episode? Do you like where it leaves us off? Let me know all of your spoiler-filled thoughts in those comments, and let's jump into the episode. I changed hats, otherwise this would have become very hellish if I had to deal with the Santa hat the whole time. So we just deal with the hat change, okay? My other big worry is like my eyes are gonna be so puffy from the crying that I did with episode 4 of Stranger Things 5 because Sorcerer was excellent. It's a great episode. I had such a blast with it. There is one storyline that I kind of don't necessarily care about with how it's happening in the story. I really don't care about what Eleven and Hopper are doing about infiltrating this military base in the Upside Down. They think Vecna's there, but we know Vecna's not there because of what Henry's doing. So, like, there's just not much tension because it's obvious that 8 is going to be in there. Like, we know what they're building to. I am happy to see 8, but I really don't care about Linda Hamilton as a villainous character. We've gotten barely any time with her, and she's supposed to be this, like, big person that we're going up against. I don't really care about Linda Hamilton so much in the season yet. 8 is back, and I am so happy that she is back in the show. I can't wait to see what they do with her. I hope that 8 and Jane will get to have their moments as actual siblings, as sisters, and they get to grow up together, go to high school together. I think that would be really perfect for them to bond. Let Hopper get all the numbered children and like let him be the father of them. I'm completely down for that. It's just like the noise of the bass, it's just too much. And the big problem I have with this episode overall is the Duffer Brothers love their flashing lights. Season 1 finale is horrendous with how much flashing lights it has. And unfortunately, this episode is heavy on flashing lights. That is the one critique I have of the Duffer Brothers in general about their style of filmmaking is they love a flashing light, and for me it's just too much. Overall, this episode is very streamlined. This is it feels like a mid-season finale, as it should. A big rise in action. We get to see face to face Vecna with these characters. I wonder if Joyce and Henry will have a scene together, because if you don't know the Broadway play, is Joyce Hopper in high school and Henry is also there. So I wonder how we'll flash back to it, whether Joyce will be able to like talk with Henry Vecna. I think that'll be really interesting. The plot structure for this episode is very simple, very forward momentum. I really like what Delightful Derek does in this episode. He is my MVP of the episode. Dipshit Derek, Delightful Derek, MVP. This little boy, his acting is phenomenal. I treasure him. I am so upset that he has been nabbed by Vecna. I hope him and Holly will be able to band together and save themselves and the rest of the kids. The progression that Derek has in this episode, where he's fully dipshit at the beginning, and then the transition into Delightful Derek when Joy starts believing in him and treating him like, respect, and just not mean from the get go like most of the other kids and adults do in Derek's life. I do love how much Derek got to do. Unfortunately, as much as I want to act like this is Derek's big episode, this is more so Will's big episode. There's this great conversation between Mike and Will towards the beginning of the episode on how Mike believes that Will is more a wizard, but more like a sorcerer since his powers are innate and not from a book. I love the distinction that they make. These little D&D boys, They know their stuff. It's really cute. And the way that Mike is pushing Will up and like supporting him, obviously Will's gonna like that. He has a crush on Mike. He's gonna like that he's getting attention and support from Mike. And Robin clocks this. And she talks about how she realized when she was queer and how letting herself be her true self and stop hiding and being scared from people and their judgment, I think is really special. And I love the Robin and Will conversation. I love their dynamic so much this season. It is nice that the two queer characters are finally getting time together. Anyways, I just love the dynamic between Will and Robin. I love them. I love them as characters. My Hawk, you're brilliant. Let's continue. And like the big reveal with Will is that he has powers, which is very, very cool. I don't know if he's still possessed by Vecna. Like, yes, he is doing something into the hive mind himself. He is still connected to it. I don't know if Vecna is still going to be able to take over Will's body at some point. I really don't understand why Vecna just left after talking to Will when he was like holding him up like that. It was really, really strange that Vecna just walked away. He got up and he walked away. Speaking of Vecna, though, that fight scene on the military base within Hawkins, Indiana, was fantastic. The wonder shots were brilliant. You can kind of tell where they were stitched together. It's not as seamless as I would like it to be, but the military's trucks that were there and the angles that you get of characters like going around them, it really reminded me of the way Cloverfield was shot, a movie I adore. You all know about this if you care about me at all. Did I mean to come off as aggressively as I did that? Your guess is as good as mine. The brutality and violence this season has really picked up. The way that some of these military men were being removed from living was hella intense. The way when Vecna like shoves his like tree tentacle fingers into that guy's face. Whoa, that was like really gross. It was probably the most viscerally gross thing to happen in the show because of how forward facing it was in the camera and in focus. I do want to say the first guy's death when the Demogorgon came onto the ground and it like jumped up and it like landed on him. I think he just crushed his head. Also, hella brutal. I couldn't believe what was happening. The Duffer Brothers really went out of their way to try to remove as many of the military men that were working there as they could. It was truly remarkable what they did. The last half hour of this episode in general is quite intense. Once we reach where Derek is within the military base and we start removing the kids and the threat of the Demogorgons, like the tension is really rising. You know something's gonna happen. And I think it's an extreme payoff to what we've been building up to so far. I truly had a great time with episode 4. The way that episode 4 starts with the cold open, I think is really excellent because we know at the end of episode 3 that a Demogorgon is on its way to the barn where Derek and the rest of our friends are at. So you already have like the tension going into that episode of like, oh my god, a Demogorgon is on its way. Our characters do not have the physical means to help themselves. Like Joyce finds an axe laying down, and she has some great like she knows what she's doing with that axe. Good for Joyce. I love the beginning of like how slow it is with getting us back to Derek and trying to tell Derek of what's going on and him not believing us. And then he tries to escape, but the Demogorgon shows up. And I just love the rising tension and action in the cold open of episode 4. They are saved by Steve and his beamer in a very Deus Ex Machina way. And this does force the Demogorgon to leave to go back to the Upside Down. So Steve uses his beamer, and him, Jonathan, Nancy, and Dustin are back in the Upside Down chasing the Demogorgon. They reach the wall, which we find out later in the episode is like a full circle around the city limits of Hawkins, which I think I really love. I like the fact that there is a physical barrier that the upside down exists. It's not like the entire earth is upside down. It is just Hawkins, and there's just like giant physical barrier. Dustin does his math skills, which I love him being just his smart self and doing something and not being like hella pretentious. He kind of is. But like I'm just happy that he does something good this season and he figures out that the middle point of the circle is Hawkins laboratory. So it's exciting that we're going back there. I'm intrigued to see what it looks like within the Upside Down. I don't remember if we've been in the laboratory within the Upside Down. I wonder if, like, I really don't remember where Joyce and Hopper exit into the Upside Down when they go to find Will in season 1. I don't remember, like, how they get there exactly. Why, Duffer Brothers, are you baiting me with Steve and Dustin in the trailer If You Die, I Die on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, knocking Steve's pop figure over like on a cliff? What are we doing, guys? Stop it. Stop it. I just want my two boys to be okay. Of the four of them, I would be most happy with Jonathan dying. But of course, the show is all about like optimism and working together, and there's a sense of hope to it. So, yes, we do need some character deaths to hit at some point, but preferably, I would like that to never happen. I'm also living in a post Ariana Grande SNL world to where I know Finn Wolfhard is the next host of SNL, and his acting this season has been phenomenal. I'm so excited to see what he can do on SNL. He was in the movie Saturday Night. He was the person outside handing like pamphlets to try and get people to come into the first Saturday Night Live episode to watch it. Caleb McLaughlin did good work this episode as well. I'm really nervous, like the Demogorgon decides when it really wants to hurt people or not. Lucas got a slash or something on his chest, and when that happens to Karen or the dad, they're in the hospital or in a coma. And I'm wondering, like, what the severity of Lucas's injury actually is. Did Mike just break his arm too? Like, what happened to our crew? I had to save her for the end because if I started talking about her at the beginning of this video, I literally we would still be talking this late in the video just simply about Max because I adore Max, as you know if you've been watching these videos. Max is maybe my favorite character and all of Stranger Things. Sadie Sink is wonderful, and the fact that Kate Bush has made me cry a third time in this show is ridiculous. You've got Running Up That Hill, and then we've got the finale of season 4 when Kate Bush running up the hill gets brought back again. And then this episode, the devastation of Max being right there and Lucas, the tape just ends and she can't get back to him. I'm sobbing. I'm crying. I just want her to be okay. I hate that Max is in this position that she's in at all. Like it, ugh. But really, Max's role this episode is just a bunch of exposition explaining where we are. I mentioned earlier about the Stranger Things play, and what happens with Max in this episode involves stuff that you see in the play. Like, the play follows teenager Joyce Hopper, Steve's dad, Henry, and Bob is there, and we're gonna get flashbacks to that, probably explaining more what's going on with Henry and those later episodes that we get, because we see Max walk around them in their high school and we get the pamphlet of like Henry doing the play. I really love what Max is going through. I don't care so much like the exposition dump that she's just telling Holly everything, but now Holly is informed. Holly is on the right side, thankfully. I swear, if Holly can't do the plan that Max is going to put in front of her for them to be able to escape Vecna's mind palace, I'm going to be sad. It'll suck. Eh. I do want to bring up also the fact that they failed this episode. Their whole mission was to protect these kids from getting kidnapped by Vecna Henry, and they failed, which I think is pretty interesting. We haven't seen our characters fail very often. They usually are successful in progressing the story along and getting places. But the fact that Vecna got one up on them and all of the kids were taken is pretty crazy. Going back to Max though, again, her hair looks amazing. I love the clothes that she obviously had to like put together when she got holes in them or something. And her boots, just everything with Max, I adore. They're doing a great job with Sadie Sink. I am glad she's back. I don't know if Max is going to wake up again. It would suck if she doesn't, but the fact that she is there at all and if she's able to save Holly and like some good can come of it, I am very happy about that. But I would be shocked if Max like woke up again in her body. I'm sure that'll happen because we need some good endings for people. But like at the same time, they haven't done much for like a good ending in her life or whatever. Like her mom, not to say that living in a trailer home like that is like not a good ending, but I want the best for Max, and I worry that her coming back, I don't know if she will be like okay. I don't know. I will say I hate how fake the rocks look. Like when they're going through the crevice in the cliffs to where Max's hiding place is, it looks so obviously fake and not real, like a rock structure. Maybe it's because the saturation in Henry's memory at this time is really high with the filmmaking, but the rocks just look really fake to me and I don't love it. It's just like production wise, it's fine. I really still am complaining about not seeing more of Hawkins. Like we're just seeing the same basic locations over and over again this season. I want more. I want more of the characters. This needs to feel like a final season and not like an epilogue to like a grander story. Because that's what it's feeling like. It's being very condensed and close. So I'm intrigued to see like what goes on from there. I do think that is the end of my coverage of Stranger Things 5, Chapter 4, titled Sorcerer. I really love this episode. It was fantastic. It's not the best episode of this season. Like, I would say the last half hour is really good, but the stuff with Eleven and Hopper going into the base and the upside down really slows this episode down for me. You could have really picked up the pace in that. Like, they could have just gone in, maybe all of the military people left to go to the gate or something, and it was just like an easier stroll for them. I don't love 11 killing random military guys. Like they're the government. They're not necessarily bad. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know that 11 is not evil. They're just trying their best, and I just don't think like a guardsman deserves his neck snapped the way it happened. She does say sorry, but like, girl, you still did it. And I know 11 has had no qualms about killing people before, but she is older now. There's just like a real moral ambiguity into what's going on. And I'm getting on a big high horse right here because like I'm not in that situation that they're in. So like I can say that I'm not gonna kill someone like that. But I'm just getting on such a big tangent to end this thing. So yes, I'm excited for the rest of Stranger Things 5. I'm going to keep doing my coverage of the season. I might do a full video on volume 2 as a whole just cuz of how short of days I have to cover it all. Like I don't have a month to do 4 episodes. I have like 5 or 6 days to do 3 episodes. So we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments down below what you would prefer me to do, just one big video on volume 2 or like individual videos. I'll do my best. I'm going to try to get on it as soon as I can tomorrow. Again, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays to everyone else. And I love Stranger Things. I love talking about Stranger Things. And just make sure you're following me wherever you want to follow me, TikTok, YouTube. Like this video, share it with people that you know that like Stranger Things so we can continue this conversation. And I have people to talk to this show about. Because some people haven't watched it yet or are waiting to do their binge. You know who you are when you finally watch this. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!